even if you don't get to meet with you or to meet with me, you can facilitate your own time together of reflection. So whether you are an entrepreneur just starting out or you've been at it for a long time and you realize that you need to invigorate your brand or redefine yourself, take that time to reflect on your own with your partners and your teammates and really decide how you want to be perceived, and then create the messaging and the tagline and the branding and the videos based on that strong foundation of a clear message. People, are you ready? Let's start the show. Let's start the show.
It is time, everybody. Time to dig deep, find that something special inside you, and let it shine. Alongside Lucinda Kay, I'm Dave Erickson. Top of the day to you, young lady.
Hi, good morning. It's so nice to see you.
Always good to see your smiling face. I know that whenever I see you, I smile big, so it's builds on each other.
Yeah, well, isn't that easy? You know, so often with clients and with my teenage girls, right? If they're grumpy or whatever, and I say, how about if you just put a smile on your face, and then pretty soon you're going to feel smiley. Yeah. So, yeah, we're a reflection.
Yeah, you start the day off, even if you have to force a smile, the body reacts to it. So why not smile? Why not open your eyes big and say, all right, I'm ready for the day. Let's take it on.
Whoop, whoop, whoop.
Today we're going to take on the topic of leading our clients so they can present themselves in the best light and let it shine from within. And there's a lot of back and forth we can do because we provide different services, you and I.
Sure.
You work directly with clients. Sometimes I produce a product for a client. That's more along my specialty when it comes to a video presentation or showcasing their skills in video form. But you as the communication specialist and working with teams, what's one of the couple of first things you do when you talk to a client? What's some questions you ask them to at least get on the same page with them?
Oh my gosh. Well, so often our clients go straight to the part of, they want to pitch what their company does, like waxing eyebrows or selling cars or whatever it is. And all kinds of people do that, right? All kinds of people provide the exact same service that you do. People make decisions based on human connections. And so always with a client, we have to first figure out, what's your story? Who are you in this world? What makes you great at what you're doing in this world? And then we can focus that message and tell a great story. And now people will want to come to you for a service.
Do you find they don't always recognize what it is that makes them special, but they figure it out when they start talking out loud? And it could be an offhanded comment.
Yes, that is so true. And because you and I are both journalists from the get-go, we spend a lot of time asking open-ended questions. I do a lot of just interviewing people verbally, and I interview different staff members while I'm there. I do a lot of team dialogue. And then I have a survey that's about 18 questions long, 18 essay questions. And it asks the clients everything from if you already have a mission statement, write that here. Your favorite colors, your favorite shapes, because that tells me a lot about how the person wants to be in the world. And then I dive in deeper, why does this opportunity make your heart beat? And tell me a little bit about your childhood. Like that, I have lots of ways that I ask the questions to get a really big picture of who these people really are, so that then we can help them define their message and deliver it more efficiently.
Is it that cliche of helping them think outside the box and see themselves differently or see themselves from a different point of view?
I don't think that's a cliche. First of all, I believe that you have to step outside of yourself. You have to learn to perceive yourselves as other people are perceiving you. And yes, so often it's hard for people to talk about really who they are. And think about when you go to job interviews. So often we ask the question, so tell me about yourself. And I will tell you that potential employees, interns, team members, that's the hardest question I ask them, right? Because they don't really know how to define themselves. They haven't really spent time thinking about what really are my favorite characteristics about myself and how do I speak that out loud. And so we help them do that.
That's great. I know when I've gone in the past to a job interview and I'm waiting for the news director or the GM or the vice president or whatever, you sit in the newsroom and that's when you chat with the other reporters or staff members and you ask them, hey, tell me about the news director. What's it about them? And you get those honest, real answers. Or tell me about what the station's all about. And they have no motive. They have no objective, or they have no, I guess, nothing to steer
Agenda.
you. Yeah, agenda. That's what I was trying to say. And so you get a true feeling. And I think that's the same kind of thing. If you were to talk to a main client, talk to their staff members to get a feeling, because they have a different mindset. They're not looking at the world by spreadsheets and year-end sales numbers. They're an employee who sees it differently.
Really. And our goal is to make sure that the messaging is matching up inside your house, office, so to speak, and outside, right? And so if you're delivering a really vibrant message, let's say you're paid advertising, you'd better be able to deliver that inside. And so we have to get everybody on the same page about the same story, even though it's a team of different people.
So some common mistakes, I guess, clients make in their approach to sharing their services or their business. What do you see?
Oh, well, that lack of time they spend in reflection, that lack of time they spend in defining how they want to be perceived, that has got to be the biggest mistake, because so often the messaging doesn't match up with the service or doesn't match up with the human beings who are delivering it. So number one, just that lack of planning and defining. And then I would say lack of training. So you have a dream, right? You have built this business. You've been dreaming about it since you were a kid. You're super passionate about it. And then, one, you're not intentional about hiring the people who are going to help you deliver the service. So they are definitely not a reflection of your passion. And then, two, you don't coach them to be able to deliver your same passion. So my company is called Let It Shine. I cannot have people who work with me who don't know how to let it shine in this world, right? Yep. So I intentionally hire people who have tendencies toward joy and service and grace and inclusiveness. And then I also coach them in specific behaviors that I'm going to ask of them, so that whether I'm in the space or not, my team is going to reflect what I deliver. So I would say that lack of reflection and lack of coaching are big mistakes, because then it affects everything else you're doing. What about you?
The mistakes that clients make is they think like the producer of the product or service. They don't think like the client. This is a weird analogy, but I'm watching this show on Netflix. It's called The Blacklist. It's kind of a spy, top 10 FBI bad guys thing. But it's a weird analogy. The criminal says he's helping the FBI. He's like an informant now. He says, to catch this criminal, you can't think like the FBI. You have to think like the criminal. I know it's kind of a weird analogy, but you have to. Great. For me, I have to think like the customer. And I produce a lot of car review videos. And so I have to think, what is the consumer going to type into Google?
Right.
They're not going to type in. They're going to type in what's natural. The 2016 Ford F-150 review. I got to think like that. If I put down here, cool truck, cool F-150 truck that I found in Spokane, no one's going to find that with those keywords or that title subject. So I've got to think like them. What's going to be found? So my videos get found. So in another example, I'm starting to work with a service that's looking for leads for dealerships. And so they were saying to me, okay, in the beginning of your video, say this video is brought to you by company XYZ, and to find out more from them, contact this number. And I'm going, I really can't say that in the beginning of my video, because my audience is going to be turned off immediately, because it's going to come off as a sales pitch. I am here to provide a service of information, a review, consumer point of view on a vehicle. If I do that, that's not authentic to my audience. I'm not being who I am. So I have to think how my audience thinks and what will be their trigger points.
And also, we know that people make decisions based on story, and we are inundated with pitches, right? Sales calls, and we listen to music online, we watch YouTube, and ads come in. And the good ads you stick with because they're about story, they have
Hmm.
beautiful images, they're warm, they're friendly. But the ones who are just like, pow, buy this car, buy this car, I can't even believe that there are still so many old-fashioned car ads
Hmm.
on local TV using the blam blam. You know what I mean? Yeah. So I'm so glad that especially you are working on that with your clients.
The basic formula that I think of is problem solution. A person's, I may think of this. Are you looking for a car with great fuel economy? I know the answer is yes.
Hmm.
So then the next line that I tell in this story process is why this car has good fuel economy or what makes this car fuel economic. And same thing with the style of story that I tell with a car. Hey, I'm helping solve a problem for you. I'm going to show you all this car, but then I'm going to give you an opportunity somehow to test drive it. So how can I help you bridge that gap between I've seen it, now I want to test drive it? So in a way, I'm still not selling. I'm providing information for the
Yeah.
person to take the next step.
Right. It is our job to set up people as experts,
Hmm.
and you do that through sharing information and stories, not by being in your face sales guys. And I think that so often when we are trying to establish people as experts, they think that that means they need to talk above people's heads. So besides being cheesy sales oriented, they want to use big vocabulary words that no one outside of your industry understands, or they want to use acronyms, or they want to be all stiff and serious, and that is never how you're going to connect, right?
Yeah.
It's really important that we help our clients be conversational, use everyday vocabulary words, avoid industry lingo, avoid acronyms. Oh my gosh, please, right? If to be heard, you have to be heard, right? People have to listen to you in order to be heard. And so you're an expert, yes, and now you need to deliver your information in a way that everyone can understand. And that's why I love your car videos, because anyone can enjoy them and anyone can get it, and I can understand. Now, I know some about cars, right? I'm an educated woman and I've taken the time to learn about that kind of thing, but I'm not that interested, honestly, in all of the like hardcore industry lingo of a car. I'm going to watch your car videos because you deliver it in a way that I can catch it quickly.
I've been told many times when I'm talking about an engine, for example, they say, don't go too in depth. Don't be inside baseball is the term.
Hmm.
Is where you don't be too in deep in the game where only baseball, only real car nuts know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Talk to the everyman. That's how I came up with that title of everyman driver. I want to get to something with you and me, but you is that how many politicians have you talked to as a news journalist? And now, how many politicians or PR people do you talk to as a coaching in your coaching service? And you're trying to help them talk to me like a normal person, put it into layman's terms. Because many times we talk to a politician going, I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Just talk to me. And so many times we're trying to get them loose to be just everyday speech.
Yep. Conversational. Conversational. And I find it offensive when people say, you need to like dumb it down. You need to deliver it like you're talking to a little kid. No, it's about being conversational and inclusive. It's not about cutting people out or commenting on people's level of intelligence. It's about making it so that it is one big conversation that everybody can participate in.
So do you go through mock scenarios with some of your clients if they have to be on camera or dealing with the public?
Sure. Yeah, for sure. And that makes me think of, did you ever interview Father Spitzer at Gonzaga University?
No, I didn't.
He's a Jesuit priest, beautiful man, and brilliant, like Mensa IQ. And I would go interview him, and I actually had to interview him with a dictionary. and I actually had a book beside me because that was like more tangible to me to be using an actual book instead of going online, just so that I could make sure the sound bites, right, that we used in the news story made sense. I would set up the context and he would deliver the information. And he was kind and gracious, and lots of times he provided context as well. So he was aware that he had this super high level of intelligence and vocabulary words. So often people have a lot of ego and arrogance built into that. And so it's a challenge when I work with those kinds of clients to teach them how to be conversational. But then once they get the hang of it, it's great, because so often when they're just in conversation with you and me, they are using regular, everyday, great vocabulary words, vibrant vocabulary words. And then all of a sudden I want to put them on camera and they are using these words that aren't even really comfortable in their own mouth, and so then it causes them to stumble. It causes them to repeat themselves. So yes, we do mock interviews. We do lots of in-person kinds of debates. Lots of my clients, I'll make them walk outside the office, and we have our note cards, and they have to deliver the information, answer my questions while we're walking, so that everything is matching up, physical and mental. And plus, then they're using their hands more because they're walking, and then their face is more engaged. And so there are lots of techniques to get there, but it's really important to get there.
Yeah. I talked to a guy a couple of years ago who taught salesmen how to provide information about a car. And what he would do, and I forget what it was, I think it was flip something. He would put note cards on certain elements of the car, like the bumper, the handle, the side mirror, the hood, and behind each note card was information about it. So when he did his walkarounds, the salesperson did the walkarounds, they had these mental cues. When I get to this point, these are the 3 points I make, and then I transition. And then I transition. And so that little walking talk that you just said, what a great practice, because eventually you don't need the note cards. You've gone through the repetition of being you, and you've used your own words. And that's what I would tell clients, is to talk in your own words. Don't talk in, and we see this a lot with officials or police speak or officials speak. It's like the male suspect fled the scene. No one talks like that.
Yeah.
We apprehended him inside a moving vehicular, whatever. It doesn't matter.
Right.
Talk like a real person, and people can connect to you.
That's right. Yeah. I mean, really, let's just be authentic with each other. Yeah. Be truly genuine. Take time to reflect and make it happen.
Yeah, absolutely. Any other things about this on leading your clients we want to talk about in this episode?
I think that even if you don't get to meet with you or to meet with me, you can facilitate your own time together of reflection. So whether you are an entrepreneur just starting out, or you've been at it for a long time and you realize that you need to invigorate your brand or redefine yourself, take that time to reflect on your own with your partners and your teammates, and really decide how you want to be perceived. And then create the messaging and the tagline and the branding and the videos based on that strong foundation of a clear message.
I think, whether it's you or myself or somebody else that does what they do best, that sounds kind of, get someone to help showcase what you do. You do what you do best, and you're the only one who can do it. And that's what you focus on. Other people like us are in the communication business or the presentation business. We can set you up to make you look as your best self. Yeah. So find someone who does that element to complement your element, and together you have a more balanced, a third-party endorsed type of presentation.
Yeah, be brave enough to let each expert do what they're really good at, right?
Right.
I am not going to be the one going in to provide your chiropractic services, right? Now, I'm pretty good with body mechanics, but that's not where I'm the expert. I'm your communications expert. And so be brave enough to let the people do what they are best at.
Yeah, and humble yourself that you don't know how to do everything. Right?
Well, and that's challenging for entrepreneurs, right? Because they're used to doing everything, and they get into the habit of doing everything, and it's very hard to let it go. But I promise you that if you will embrace the idea of engaging experts in your company You are going to be more efficient. It's all going to happen so much more quickly. It'll be more powerful, more sparkly. And as you know, that is how you let it shine.
If you are listening to the podcast right now, check out the video version, because that smile right there will start your day off. Launching 1,000 ships, that smile right there.
Thank you so much, Dave. Right back at you.
All right, for Lucinda Kay, I'm Dave Erickson. Thanks for listening. We'll see you back here next time.
Don't let me hear you say life's taking you nowhere. Angel, look at that sky, life's begun. Nights are warm and the days are young.